Once again, folks, it is another lovely Sunday night here at Big O Bell Media because we are ready to jump into our top 3 must talk about moments of episode 8 of season 2 of Power Book 4 Force, where this episode is titled Dead Reckoning, directed by Eif Rivera, written by Melody Cooper. Now, as y'all know now, 8 weeks in, I said we're going to continue to work with the hottest, the most talented content creators in all of the Power universe. And I lied because today we are truly here with royalty. This ain't no content creator, folks. This ain't that. And whatever our price was yesterday, it has just went up because we truly have a day one of the Power family. Miss Anita Gibson, which I got to read off all the accolades real quick, so just so y'all know, we're gonna make sure we put some respect on her name before we even get started.
Thank you.
First of all, the new project, the Gloss Podcast, can't even talk. Where she is the founder and host. So obviously at the Gloss_podcast, you go ahead and check that out right now. As I mentioned, when I say day one royalty, I'm not talking about Force. I'm not talking about Raising Kanan. I'm not talking about Ghost. I'm talking about like day one, like before everybody was even casted day one. So she knows some stuff, but we're not gonna get into all that because y'all gotta get behind the paywall if y'all want to get those stories. But truly, a producer for Force. In the beginning of the first season, and you can also catch her as a producer. We're Raising Kanan is coming back in December, and also for Power Book Ghost. Miss Anita Gibson. Anita, welcome to the show. It is an honor to have you.
Thank you for such a great entrance. Thank you.
Absolutely. Folks, y'all get in the comments, show her some love right now. Absolutely. Before we even hit our title drop, y'all go over to her Instagram page, Anita Gibson Films with a Z. Give her a follow. Check out the podcast. Check out all things she has coming down the pipeline. And obviously, as we're going to be here to talk about Power Book 4 Force, y'all know Raising Kanan is in December. So you might as well go ahead and get a head start because she's going to be able to give you that inside scoop you may be looking for. Nonetheless, we got a show tonight. Let's hit that title drop and let's get into it. Yeah, folks. It is Lucas over there, Nigeria right here, Anita under us here to talk about Power Book 4 Force. This is episode 8, Dead Reckoning, which on our Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we get into those 3 hot, juicy, controversial topics, whatever it is that y'all talking about coming from this week's episode. I can't wait to see what we're going to get into. Lucas already cooked it up. I'm here to just sit back and be part of the shenanigans with the lovely Queen Anita Gibson. Anita, again, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
No doubt. Lou.
Hey, this was a crazy episode. An absolutely crazy episode that I know the Twitter world has been going bonkers for this past couple of days since its release. And I'm going to start first with Anita. Because one, I want inside information. We could talk after this. I need as much inside information as humanly possible.
Inside, definitely. What's up?
One of the biggest questions of the week is, did Diamond let Leon die? And what people are asking, why people are asking that question is because in the scene where we see the young Leon pass away, we see first him confronted by a group of boys, them getting into a big fight, and Diamond, being a guy who is supposed to be from the streets, should have noticed the danger that Leon was in. So I got to ask you, Anita, do you think it was a situation of him just not noticing that maybe this is something he should step in on, or was this just a situation where he was like, hey, these are kids, let's see what happens?
Well, in my opinion, because now I'm a fan like you guys are, because
there you go.
I was Force season 1 producer. Now I'm fan. For me, it felt like in the moment, the way I read it, he was allowing this young man to establish himself with bullies, And so I feel like he stood off in order to allow a young man to, like, you got to step up for yourself, otherwise, and so that's
Yes.
why I felt like he stood off, right? I felt like he felt like the kid handled it, right? Like, knocked the kid
Yes.
to the ground and it was done. And it's like, all right, you handled your business, let's go. And when he turned around, the other situation was happening. So
Yes.
that's just I think that, if I'm gonna go backstory, because this is what we do when we're on the
There you
inside.
go.
And
Yeah.
There you go.
I think this is a young man that's being raised by a mother only, right? And so as a man, I'm going to allow this young man to stand for himself and give him a little bit of street room, right? Because clearly these kids have been bullying him. He knew these kids,
Yes.
right? And so, Diamond had him in the gym, getting him ready for these moments. And so the kid handled it. He took the lesson, he understood the assignment, popped the dude, put him on the ground. All right, we handled. Let's go to this whatever we get ready to do. And then, here comes the gun, right?
Yeah.
And so that I just feel that's what I feel. Like I don't think that he let him. I think that it's street code, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I
my
think that
thought.
that's what most people were confused about, because I 100% agree with you. There is, you got to stand up on your own. If I got to fight your battles for you, how would you ever survive if I have to always fight your battles for you? But what did you think, AJ,
100%.
about this situation between Leon and Diamond, and just the reaction point of it? Because that's what people point out more than anything, is Diamond's reaction to the situation.
Yeah, I think this is a really well written scene, because let's not forget that Diamond did do some time, and I think between our two generations, I think, like, or matter of fact, our generations are probably more aligned, but the generation right after me, I mean, I definitely came from the generation that if there was a beef on the streets, you fought it out, and then that's what it was. And then now it's kind of a culture shock now, because you're hearing these young kids are strapped, and you're like, what? I could barely even get my hands on something if I wanted something. And so, like, I think Diamond and like, let's just hypothetically put this here. If I was getting bullied and Lou took me in and was like, I'm gonna get you right, and he got me right, you assume I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna put in the work that you taught me. Then you get the proud brother moment. You're like, oh, you handled it. I handled it. We done. That's what it was in our generation. And I think this generation gap between Diamond and Leon is he probably felt the exact same way. Like, oh, that's my boy. He got it done. Oh, these little kids are strapped. And this is kind of like a man. And I think, like, that's why there may be this perception that he let him die, whether he didn't try to resuscitate him on the ground or try to whatever, hold the wound or whatnot. I think it was just a moment of him thinking, like, I can't believe these young strapped out here. Like, what is happening? What's truly happening on the streets right now? And I think it is a lot of, like, Diamond kind of just going through the realization that, one, time has passed, generations passed, but the streets are dangerous, and they're none like what he went in to what he came out to. So I love this scene. I think the folks that wrote it correctly, because I think there's no other way this scene if you were going to have a scene where Leon wins a fight and then gets shot, there's no other way this should have went out. It should have went exactly like this. And I just want to quickly go to a super chat, because DeMarcus Vaughn, who clearly did some research, because I don't know how you found dude's name. He said, what if Rashawn would have smoked Diamond after he smoked Leon? How do you feel about that? I wouldn't have been a fan of it, because I just don't think it was a merit to do so. I just don't think it would have it would. One, as a fan of Diamond, you don't want it to happen. And you obviously, this is not an arc. That's not how you want the arc to end. But two, I don't think it would have been a merit of doing so, because suckers with guns take suckers moves out. That's why they went after Leon. It would have never pulled the gun over at Diamond. They already know what time it was. They would have did that. So they took the sucker way out, and pulling the trigger on Leon, which is just unfortunate.
Yeah, and they also, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. And, and they shot and ran, like They didn't stick around. They shot and ran because they were cowards.
Yes.
It's plain and simple. They weren't going to shoot Diamond because they were scared what they just did. So they got out of there as fast as Diamond wasn't in any trouble. These were punks. These were cowards.
Punks, cowards, and children.
And children.
Thinking above and beyond the person that's right in front of them. We've seen them pick on Leon this entire time. They're not going to then turn a gun around and shoot Diamond. They shot and ran away because they're kids, they're punks, they're kids that don't know no better. You lost a fight and you wanted to pull a gun. Again,
Which is a coward.
Exactly. Because they played it perfectly with Diamond because it is a generational thing. Back in the early 90s, before like everybody had to carry a gun. Man, you fought. You know what? We're gonna fight in this neighborhood. You whoop me, I whoop you. Guess what? We're gonna be cool tomorrow. It is what it is. We can get past that. But part of the embarrassment, and I think they did it perfectly and shot it well, when you see the kid go down and you look at his face. He is so embarrassed about what Leon did to him. The only reason he felt was to shoot Leon because of it.
Yeah.
Which is
sad.
And
his boy had the gun, Like he didn't even have the gun. His boy gave him the gun. Like your boy's already telling you, man, you went down like a sucker. You got to shoot him now.
You only got one option.
Exactly.
We are at that point. But this is
peer pressure.
I mean, yes. This is something we see every day in the news. All you gotta do is turn you to TV. You see kids do this all the time, and it's normally because I'm embarrassed, and I have no other recourse for my embarrassment because I have not learned from a maturity aspect to deal with disappointment. Instead, I'm gonna shoot my way out of it because that's the way I'm gonna handle this situation.
Yep, it's so disappointing.
Yes,
but it is real. Like you said, you can watch the news and hear it daily. Some of these things get pulled right out of the headlines of everyday life.
And what's sad in society is that this scene didn't hit as hard as it should because we're so conditioned. We're just like, oh shit, this happens all the time. I say maybe 15 years ago this scene happened. This becomes one of those things that we talk about for years. It's like, yo, you remember the scene where little boy got shot for beating dude? Like it's like that, You go back to other movies, where kids died. We were talking about
Boys in a. We still say, Ricky. We did it during our review of this episode. We still say that when someone's shot because back then that was unheard of. Something like that could happen. And you're like, oh my God, like you're shooting kids over a simple disagreement. Like it was so rare and shocking. But now we're in a time where it happens at least 5 to 6 times every hour. Can't even say a day, unfortunately.
It's sad.
So you become numb
and
to
you
it.
And you saw Diamond's how proud he was of the young man, like handling his business. It's like, we did it right. You did it right, young man. You put the work in the gym. You understood the target. You knew right where to hit the target. That was like a proud moment for him. And then you see this, and it should be about like, hey, I took you out. Like you pushed me and I handled my business. And it's just so sad that the streets now say that it can't go down like that. Like I have to end you because you handled your business on me.
Exactly.
And it's just unfortunate because like you said, these are children who just aren't mature enough and haven't been raised in an environment, and they're ruining their lives too. Like, I mean,
like your life
imitating art. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to.
Life. You're gonna go to super chat before I get to my next one?
Let me get a super chat real quick. Also, I want to acknowledge a message that is in the super chat from Rainy J. Really quick. It says, "Never get immune to it. You got to feel something." No, we do feel something. It's without a doubt. We feel it. I think as not just myself, but just culturally, we feel stuff. I mean, you want to talk about social injustice? Like we feel something every day because it's
every day.
A norm, and we feel it, and it, whether you metabolize it to anger or fear or sadness, you feel something. But at the end of the day, you're so conditioned till it being the norm, you're not surprised. You're just like, damn, again. Literally. So like when Leon Deafus is kind of like, damn, again. And we did have the little girl that got killed earlier in the season. So Leon being killed by gunfire is just damn again. So let me get these super chats out the way real quick. Eric Iverson, welcome, my friend. Always coming through with the $10 super chat. Diamond killing the PO. This is actually great right here. This is a bomb little should I say analogy or correlation there? Correlation. There we go. Diamond killing the PO with the same blade he was gifted from the jail to change his life for better. It's symbolic with the blood of the PO, which tells him he switched to the dark side. Holy crap. That's a good message right there. Eric, thank you, my friend.
Great message.
Eric trying to earn his way into the finale recap show, man.
I'm gonna say, because I completely forgot that Diamond was gifted that razor blade. That takes it to a different level.
Yeah, Eric trying to get him a slot real quick. We might have to see him on the finale. My friend HFG, why do you think Jannard said nobody knows who killed Leon? Is Diamond maintaining the no snitching street code? The least he could do is tell on the little ragamuffins. Go ahead. Yeah, you take that, Lou. Yeah.
I would say that because technically these are kids. Diamond may not know who the children are. He just know that kids killed Leon. Yeah. You know, again, and then the shock of a situation. Like this was unexpected violence. Unfortunately, you don't remember everything. He remembers Leon throwing the punch and he remembers the shot. He probably does not remember exactly who pulled the trigger. And again, these were kids that always Diamond didn't address the kids when they were fighting with Leon behind his barbershop by their name. It's a chance he does not know these children by their name.
Yeah. On top of, like you said, he's processing.
Yes.
You know, his girl had just said, please don't let me regret.
Oh my God. Yes.
My son, having my son around you. Please. I mean, she just gave him that.
Yeah.
And, it's hard when that happens.
My little phone.
And it's hard when that happens because that's the first thing that's probably going through his head right after everything happens with Leon is I let his mother down. It's a crazy feeling, but that's probably the first thought that popped into his head.
Because she gave him that plea. Like, you know, in other words, I'm vibing on you. Like, I'm feeling you. I'm feeling what we're doing. I'm liking what you're representing. Please, I know who you are. I know where you came from. Don't let me regret. I mean, and you know, you could feel Diamond wanting to get out. Diamond wants out.
Yeah.
Diamond wanted out.
He was right at the edge, I think, of saying this isn't for me anymore. Like I got everything I could possibly want. I don't need this anymore. And then you get this and it drags you right back in. And again, being from our community, the Black community, one of the codes, and anybody who has children will tell you, when someone else's children are in your custody, in your stewardship, you feel personally responsible for everything that happens to them.
Even 100%. To the point that people will cross boundaries.
Exactly.
I cannot tell you how when I was a kid, I got a whooping from somebody else's parents.
Look, I grew up in I know people have been trying to figure out my age for the longest time. I grew up in the 80s and the 90s. Everybody beat you. There was no such thing. I didn't have to wait for my mama to do something. Everybody.
It's
just that responsibility factor.
Also, I just want to quickly say too, like, let's also not forget about something that's very prominent in our community. Listen, whoever that male figure that ties that tie for you for the first time, they have almost solidified a contract in blood of honor for what they've done for you.
Amen. Because the tying is no joke.
This man Diamond, I mean, he was definitely ready to lead the streets. I mean, he tied my man Ty, and my man wanted to fight. He was done. CBI was going to be up for auction after that. Like, he was definitely done. So just imagine all of those things happening, and then it just gets swept from under you. The processing, that we're going to see in episode 9 is going to be, I mean, what now? Almost close to 20 episodes, so 18 episodes. We're finally about to see the diamond that's been revered before he went to the streets because of everything. It's going to be wild, man.
Yeah, because he sent the message. He dumped that drug, that money. He sat in that chair, and he told himself who he really is. I am a drug dealer. I am. This is who I am. You know, like that was dark.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was like you said, I am now Darth Vader on the dark side.
Exactly. Speaking of people transitioning and realizing who they really are, you're going to let me transition to the next topic eventually.
My bad, dude. Listen, Eric said he coming for your spot. He said one thing that makes sense. Eric Iverson again with the super chat for $5. One thing that makes no sense was Mireya arguing with Tommy right outside her family party, but they were trying to hide the relationship. I will say that I thought that was a little like hot, but it's just no telling. I mean, it's really hard to tell. I mean, the infrastructure, the what was at attention. Let's not forget that Shay was dancing with his daughter, which is the main reason why everybody was there. So them leaving out at that moment means that everybody could have been preoccupied. But I feel you. It definitely was very hot, and it definitely was a moment where I'm like, well, it's power. Everything's always very coincidental. So somebody's definitely going to peep outside or look at something. But I feel you in terms of just like, let's just say like the visual of this. It seems like a big deal, but I think we definitely let this one be, because if they were going to do something, it would have been a car driving by, a door slightly open, or something like that. So it just was just what other time would they would have had that conversation? I mean, they won't go wait for a phone call.
If I could jump in,
get it?
Yes, ma'am.
Tommy always does shit like that. Tommy will always do shit like that, right on the edge of danger. If you are a Power fan, this is quintessential Tommy Egan. He don't give a fuck if the door is right here. If I need to pop my shit off, I'm gonna pop my shit off. That's Tommy, and this is why you love him, because he will take shit and be right on the edge of like blowing the spot up. So you know, it's par for the course, in my opinion, for Tommy Egan to handle his business just outside of danger.
I was gonna say, and let's not forget, like Miguel didn't come to his apartment, and soon as Miguel left, soon as he closed the door, he looked back and said, "Mireya, we're clear," as if like he wasn't already just 3 steps away from the door. So like, I agree. I mean, and even if I didn't agree, I mean, you got to take what Anita says as law. So there's that. I can argue with your mother, folks.
That was Eric, right? I want to make sure I get the name right.
Yeah.
That was Eric that did that super chat.
But a good observation. Yes.
But Eric, let me help you out here. In the words of the amazing, great philosopher Lenny Williams, maybe you've never been in love like I've been in love. Because clearly, if you think I care who's around when you piss me off, you have lost your mind. I don't care if your mama there, your grandmother could be there, Joe Biden can be there. I don't care who there. You're going to get this work right here and right now. And that's the way Mireya felt, because she felt used. And at that point, her anger is not logical. It is. You're going to get this right now because you're going to know my true feelings. That is a display of love, because you hurt her to her core that you would do that, because immediately she believes you use me. In the moment anyone feels that way in a relationship, if you expected them to logically respond to you and say, well, this may not be the safest place for us to do this. Not many women would say, fuck that safe place. We gonna argue right here, right? We've seen too many clips of people arguing in restaurants, baby showers, hospitals, jobs. They don't care at that minute.
And these are not, these are probably very toxic. I mean, Mireya's family, drug dealers, toxic. It's a toxic environment. These are traumatized people. And you know that Tommy wants love so bad. He grabs a hold of, once somebody says and leans in on him, Tommy, it's like you feel so bad for Tommy, because He just wants love, even if it's dysfunctional love. So here you go. He's like, please don't leave me. What's the matter with you?
Exactly. Exactly. And that's why I
Yeah,
said that's why I brought up Lenny Williams, because that's
that's
what it was, a
right.
lot of begging going on there. There was a lot of begging
Yes.
on there. Tommy might as well just watch TV. The TV went off. The way he was feeling when Mireya walked out on him right
Yeah.
there.
And you saw it. You know, he's like, damn, man, all these women I'm loving on, they keep.
Exactly.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, but speaking on again, because I'm not gonna let you interrupt my transition this time, Najir. Speaking on love and someone who's traumatized Tommy, I am here to advocate as I have every week on here, not for Raina this week, even though we always team Raina, but I'm here to advocate justice for Kate. Finally, she is told that her grandchild is not dead, and her two sons allowed her to believe this entire time that he was dead. So I'm gonna start with you first, Najir. What do you think about this scene between Kate and JP? And in the end, how he's still in the tried to hold her accountable for her relapse by not addressing the point. Him and Tommy are the reason that she relapsed.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever said this, but I think I should, just for the record. Kate has totally become one of my favorite characters. And
Mm-hmm.
Patricia, another day one, should we say, has just really taken this role, ran with it, and this evolved. When you talk about feeling something, you felt the hurt when she thought that
Mm-hmm.
D-Mac was dead. You felt the hurt when
Yes.
she thought that she was getting closer to her sons. You felt the hurt when they told him that D-Mac was alive, but they didn't trust you with the information.
Mm.
Um, at this rate now, I first of all, I don't really feel JP and like his ultimatums they give her, like if you clean, then you can visit him, but if not, then stay away.
No.
Then if it was just that easy, because she was clean before y'all actually leaned her back to it, why didn't y'all
Yeah.
just tell her off break? They were so Tommy is Tommy. He gets a pass. It's very normal for him to have handled Kate this way. JP, this whole like I want to be close to my mom, and even though he held her accountable about the whole statement about raising them, because she did not raise them. She's like, no, you didn't raise her. But I mean, I still didn't. I don't feel why JP ever had to lean towards the side of viciousness, where he withheld this information to her. Which I say this statement all the time. You know, when somebody lied to you, it withholds the ability for you to be honest in every
Mm.
situation. Somebody lied to you, anything that you would do at that point, you really can't be held accountable for, because you was never given an opportunity to truly be honest about it. So she may have never went back to the drugs if they had just been honest. So everything that she's doing right now in terms of reacting to what's happening, I don't think it's her fault. And I totally blame JP, because JP truly could have been the one to prevent all of this, where she could have at least kept the family somewhat functional. All they got right
Mm.
there in that room. That's all they got. And now
Yep.
their family's divided, split, broken, and running back towards the trauma because just the smallest little information. He's alive.
Yeah.
We just needed to have him away for a while. That's it. And then, as you mentioned, Lucas, because I wanted to steal your point, who was Kate going to go tell? That's the biggest question. They didn't want her to
Tariq,
know.
there's no one else for her to talk to.
Yeah, I'm confused. Like, so I don't know, man. I just really feel for Kate. But again, Patricia's just been flat out in this role. Just a fantastic job. And this was again a small scene, probably a 5-10 minute scene that probably is an episode worth of just details within everything that was happening in it.
Yeah.
Justice
What
for
do you
Kate.
think, Anita, about the justice for Kate against her sons here?
Well, now I'm gonna do that whole producer inside thing.
There you
And the question is, yes, JP, why would you do that? And is there this underlying bitterness that you have? And here's a moment of control that you can have over the woman that left you, that didn't raise you. And now here you found a space where you get to have a little payback. and now you've sent her over the edge so you can say the things that you really wanted to say. Look at you. Look at what you look at you're a mess. Like, that could be some bitterness, underlying bitterness. Because they're really, Tommy is the one, because Kate has pulled Tommy out of situations after situations, has put him in some as well, but that's their dysfunction, right? So Tommy, shame on Tommy, right? For not being upfront. Like, listen, the kid has to go somewhere. I'm not telling you where though. And don't ask any questions. Done. So Tommy is responsible. But I feel like JP, there's some underlying stuff there that he can now talk to her in a way, because she's totally vulnerable at this point, because she knows she's a mess. She knows she slipped back. So that's just there's something under the surface for me. And Kate
I
is
did not
amazing.
put that together.
Yeah, Kate is she from day one when we first introduced her character on Power. Patricia is this beautiful woman from Connecticut. She played all these great wholesome roles. Her acting career has pretty much been a wholesome kind of career, and we knew that Kate was a mess. Kate was like a former stripper. Kate dealt with all the like slimy dudes around, the drug dealers, the whatever. She always was a little bit on the edge of tacky and a cokehead and a full mess. So we had to like really break down this beautiful woman, brimmed out eyeliner, smudged, really gaudy nails. Like her clothes were like half sultry, half like dated. I mean, we really worked her character just so you guys could feel exactly what you feel right now. Is this, you saw her cleaning up and now you see this mess again, just so that she would resonate with you guys. So I'm so happy you guys love Kate, because she has always been one of our favorites.
Well, thank you.
She's an amazing character. And I never put two and two together about JP and it possibly being his chance at get back. Because he's like, you know what? You left me. I don't owe you anything. I don't owe you the reason why my son is gone, because you didn't give me a reason why you left.
There you go.
What was the difference between the two? Wow.
Just so you know, it's just me throwing it out.
I don't think
it's Eric, man, that seat you almost had. Our seat might be in jeopardy right now.
I did not put together that. Wow.
That's just me doing my inside track mind, It's like, because we haven't, JP still got something. There's something else there with him.
Man.
And that's what we've been asking for this entire time is, okay, what is the purpose for JP as a character here? And this could give you insight to that purpose, because maybe he is the son who's like, you know what, in the end, you just abandoned me. I don't do anything.
Yeah, that doesn't sit well with people when they've been abandoned. Like it just doesn't. And so I feel like that was a very big moment for the show, the moment between JP and Kate. Like I don't know where they're going with it, but I just know there has to be that moment where JP delivered those lines like that. It's like, there's something else. Something else is coming.
The point what him and Tommy did, and yet he still believes he can hold her accountable. For her own actions, says it's something else that I feel about you. I'm not letting it go now, but just understand, I still don't like you. I think that's a big thing. People make the mistake of believing because I talk to you, I like you. No. And children, it is very hard for children to forget what parents do to them.
And there's also, he could have some envy with her relationship with his son. You know,
Yes.
like there could be some
Mhm.
resentment in that because I never got this from you, you know? So, you know.
That's a very normalized feeling.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
3 out of 5 people got that feeling.
Hey, I said
Yeah.
all the time, whenever I would talk to my mama, I always ask, I say, who the hell is this person? Because this person didn't exist when I was growing up. Like, you are just overly nice for no apparent reason. Like, these kids can do whatever they want. I
Yeah.
pay
Yeah.
you a pair of $50 tennis shoes.
Yeah.
How
Yep.
is it we have arguments about buying $1,000 worth of phones for children? But again, it's that thing where a lot of parents, especially parents who feel they made a misstep at one point in time, they try to make it up with the next generation.
Yep.
And they try to do everything right with the next generation. As we said before earlier in the season, it felt like D-Mac was Kate's redemption.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything I couldn't do with JP, everything I didn't do with Tommy, I can make sure I give D-Mac every part of me when I never gave it to either one of them. And
Yep.
that builds resentment in the end, even if
Yeah.
you don't talk about it.
And I was just
And there's that.
you just took the words out of my mouth too, is that resentment has always looked like a one like tone thing. So like it is interesting to see what resentment from Tommy looks like in comparison to what
Mhm.
what it looks like with JP. Because again,
Yeah.
you just think resentment is just one standard characteristic and how it's portrayed. So I'm very much. I mean, listen, I really like Anthony Fleming,
Oh yeah.
and I'm really rooting for this character to come along.
Mm-hmm.
So trust me, this helped a lot because with 2 episodes left
Yeah.
in this season, I really need something to invest into with this character. And if this is just another form of just payback towards Kate or
Mm-hmm.
or whatever it may be, I'll sign in for it. I definitely will. So we're gonna see, but that's an amazing tape. But see, that's why we had to have you here. That's
Yes.
why. Yeah, Eric, man, you gotta step your game up, man. It ain't looking good
There
for
you
you,
go.
bro. The Marcus Vaughn with the $2 super chat. Imagine Stacy March and Shanti on the same team. What, like on the streets or like on the streets or like feds? Because I mean, I don't know, man. Unless you just got a thing for just 2 strong black women on the same team going after something
Yeah.
here.
Because it just don't mix well together. Stacy is a pit bull in every sense of the word.
I
Yeah,
And
mean,
as I said every week, she don't care who die,
yeah,
what happens in the community. We had a whole project shot up. She's still like, well, I just need Tommy. Like, I don't care what else happens in the world. But Shanti's in love with a crackhead. So we just have 2 completely different type of people here. So I couldn't see them teaming up together. It could happen, but then Shanti would have to be dirty. And I don't necessarily see that as an element of her. I see
yeah,
her as the next big threat. And I know a
yeah.
lot of people disagree because a lot of people don't like the character, which is
oh,
the
she's
actress'
playing
job for you
people.
not to like the character.
Oh,
That's her
Yep.
job, is for you not to like her.
it's
She's
been
doing it
Amen.
chess the
perfectly well
entire
too.
time. It's chess the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
She's
honestly,
been
I see her as
playing.
their next big threat of season 3, possibly,
yeah,
because she's building a team. You gotta
yeah,
pay the way she's
And
building it too.
deceiving everywhere.
Yes.
I
Be
mean,
Bill Belichicking it up. Deflategate and all. She giving you
yeah,
everything possible.
yeah, yeah.
yes.
Let me just put this in the air real quick for just for good wisdom or whatever you want to call it, good juju, whatever it may be. Shanti better make it to season 3. Like that is a must right now.
No, it's just
Oh yeah,
there's no
she's got
need
a
for her not
vibe
to.
for. She
Yeah,
definitely has a vibe, no
yeah.
question. Yeah,
Please give us a
yeah,
showstopper
Yeah.
for season 3. Do not
Yeah. The
yeah,
folks.
character's too strong.
Yeah.
Even if
yeah.
you
And she
didn't
plays. She
think the
plays
character
well
was
off of
working out this
everyone.
way. Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good point too. She actually, the
Yep.
character does work with so many other characters too. So it
Yeah.
doesn't just have to be attached to just one character in order for it to work,
Yep.
So
Yeah.
that's an amazing point. DeMarcus
Mhm.
Vaughn with a $5 super chat. I hope Shanti takes out JP to hurt Tommy,
Mm.
and that will cause Tommy to get his first L this season of Force. I mean, Liliana definitely is a L this season for him per se, because I mean that was his whole motivation for like 2 episodes. But I don't want. Again, that's another character I don't want to die too prematurely. I want to. I want more of JP. I want to know understand more about the motivation of this character, and I think Anthony's doing a fantastic job for keeping the character very self-contained to everything that we know that this character can flourish to once they set it on a path or something. And honestly, we got to talk about the writing of this season.
Mm-hmm.
Shanti just opened up the cans episode 7, and then look how much we talking about her and how invested we are. All we do now, we just need JP to just come alive episode 9, and we're good to go. And obviously,
JP came alive. If you think about it, JP came alive again this episode.
This episode,
conversation
100%.
with Kate,
this was the episode.
Highly important because again, Power is famous for giving you little nuggets that grow into something big.
Yeah,
that's true.
Now we understand his level of resentment. Do you think Tommy doesn't have a level of resentment from the way Kate attempted to establish a relationship with JP when he felt I never had that mother in the first place? So of course he's going to say, I don't care what Kate knows. Do you think JP's going to confront Tommy and say, I think it was a bad idea that we didn't tell Kate what was going on with D-Mac? What do you think Tommy's reaction would be to that?
Exactly.
It ain't gonna be nice.
No.
It's gonna be a trauma response that Tommy's gonna give
for
JP,
sure,
which could trigger something completely different in JP. And then you have brothers with conflict of some form. And
the brothers
the
gonna
best,
go ahead.
The best seasons of Power had situations where the conflicts didn't just arise from the drug game. When the conflicts arise from things outside of the drug game, that's some of the best conflict you can ever get on television. And that is what it seems like we could get headed to with Tommy and JP. It's going to be a conflict because eventually JP is going to say, Darrell doesn't need to be away anymore. He needs to come back home. Tommy's not going to like that at all. Because right now, Tommy has Kate where Tommy needs Kate to be. He can't have her being a loving grandmother. He can't have her being the mother who wants to reach
she got to be
dysfunctional.
That's how he knows how to control her.
Exactly. And that's his level of love for her, is that she's dysfunctional.
There's so much in it. And this is why I said that this conversation could easily be an episode, because it starts to make you think by that statement alone. Is that why he feeds her addiction? To keep her under control.
He's always had her addiction. When she came back this season, what the first thing he tried to do? Get her back on drugs. That's the mom I know. It is very hard
mother I know
to adapt to a different person. Clean Kate wasn't sometimes he was accustomed to. All you gotta do is go back to the scene when he got the ice cream.
And JP has the other experience with her. And so now here you are back to that. Like, you know what I mean? And so there's this whole, it's, don't sleep on JP now.
Exactly.
That's what I want to hear.
There you go. But again, speaking of something brewing, what do you think about the Quinceañera and Miguel? Do you think with Tommy showing up there, and I'm starting with you first, Anita, do you think the first thought and the key thought for Miguel here is, who informed Tommy this was happening? Because how else would Tommy know to show up? What do you think could be the possible ramifications once he actually finds out who informed Tommy that this Quinceañera was happening?
Yeah, you could see him holding the thought, right? When he walked in. Like, we pick these random places to have our kids' little parties at. So people have to inform you, right? So he's like, what is this dude walking in here? And so the ramifications, that is big, because Tommy has messed up too much for him. Like he has infiltrated too many of his money lanes. And so something, he's going to sniff it out we can already see it because once old girl showed up at what's her name's house, Mireya.
Mireya.
Oh, Stacy. Yes.
Once Stacy showed up, like Mireya knows I'm in. I'm in too thick. She knew she was in thick, and she knew outside of there, like he will kill both of us. Like something's gonna go down. He's gonna figure out because nobody else would tell him.
So who you get this information from?
Who is the snitch? Everybody was snitching on everybody. Everybody's snitching. I was like, woo, this is the episode of Snitch and Move the Chess Piece.
Oh, that brings us back to Force Power Book 2 when he used to show the chess piece moving, and you're like, okay, what is the chess piece moving for?
True.
And then Miguel, that's his mind. Like, wait a minute,
true.
how would you even know how to show up here?
Yeah,
like what are you doing here? But how did you know?
But the only thing is, the mother pointed out one of his soldiers and said, "You got to watch out for him." So she might get saved because he might be so insecure about what his mom said to him that he goes and gets, So you got to so one of them he's gonna figure out.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Because he's thinking right now, if you don't feed him, and she said, if you don't feed him, eventually he's going to turn against you.
Yeah. She planted the seed, mother. Mother planted the seed, honey. The mothers, honey.
Hey, people want to talk about on Power the transition between fathers and sons and how all sons kill their fathers. We need to talk about how all mothers eventually turn against their sons. It happens in every bit of Power. It always happens. Or just bad advice, because that's what
bad
that
advice
was.
Yeah,
you told him to look out for someone who was never a threat to him.
Never a threat. He's doing his job. Doing his job.
Exactly.
But you saw Vic, right, try to set Jannard up.
Yeah.
Yep. It's like people trying to plant seeds, throw things off. Because who's the mother? The mother might emerge on us too. Like we don't know, because
never know.
She clearly had something to say at that quinceañera about what was happening with the Serbs, and So it's very interesting, and you wonder which way Miguel is gonna go. Like which way is he gonna sniff? Is he gonna see his sister, or what is he gonna do? Yeah.
Miguel is presenting like hothead Tommy.
Yeah.
And a lot of people did not see that before. But if you pay attention as these episodes have gone on, he's presenting like when Tommy tried to take over from Ghost, and how everything was just immediate reaction without a thought behind it. Because if he just thought a little bit, I think he would figure out who possibly told Tommy what the location was. But if he reacts off of emotion, he's going to go back and he's going to attack one of his best soldiers, because he's going to think that's the person that did it.
Oh, yeah.
But what do you think, Najir?
It is the audacity of this white boy showing up to this quinceañera. Like, my man not only walked in, but then tried to construct business and knew Spanish, which I honestly think it's hilarious, because I got to tell you how bad I was rooting for his Spanish to be bad, and for them to be like, "Hey, yo, what the fuck?" Nah, get him out of here. But he knew a little something, which is just hilarious. Miguel, man, at some point he gotta get a W, man. He's been behind this entire season, and his grandma the entire time has just been trying to get him hip. And I said this, and I don't know if anybody else was raised this way, but like I definitely came from a family where the women, they didn't baby me in a sense of like telling me the right answer to every problem or question. In fact, it told me to be aware of what the wrong answer could be, so that I made the right decision. And that's what a lot of what the grandma is telling him, like, hey, keep an eye out on Tommy. He's going to do this. Little she know it already beforehand, whether she was aware of the deal. This is a lot of like, just keep keep aware of this. And I do agree. Like the one dude that has been loyal to him the entire time should not have been in emphasis at the moment, but he was a focal point very early in the season. Then he just disappeared. And I was just like, oh, okay, he's a muscle. Oh, he's second in command. Oh, now he's just gone. So it's like, oh, you're making all these moves and everybody's trying to make these partnerships and territories, but you don't got your second in command here. You out here playing corner boy, doing pop-ups at people places and working the deals out without nobody behind you. So like in a movement where everybody's trying to be under one umbrella, should I say, a little bit of unity, the correlation that they said is going on, your right-hand man ain't nowhere to be involved with anything that you're doing. So I kind of see where grandma's coming at with that. But I again, I just think that Miguel still isn't. He got to get a W at some point. He's just behind, and I think you're right. If he sits back and don't react and just look at the evidence that's right in his face, he'll be able to put some things together. Which is why this episode, Eif did an amazing job in what we know Eif to do. There is so many moving pieces. This is like a game of Uno where everybody got 3 cards in their hand and you're trying to figure out what color people got, who got to draw for, what you need to play. Because there's so many moving pieces that's happening right now.
We can tell by your generation, you said Uno when it would have been spades.
You can't talk in spades. You can't talk in spades. You can't talk in spades. That's the thing.
Well, no. You can't verbally talk in spades. Partners talk,
you can talk
all the time in spades now.
But see,
I can look at shit and you be like,
But see, the thing,
you can get that certain look.
The reason why I went with Uno is because Uno, you can throw people off by letting them know, like, listen, you throw that down, it's a wrap. You can throw indicators to send people different ways, and that's what a lot of what's happening here with the whole Vic trying to rat out Jannard and his loyalty. Jannard talking about how honest he is when he's not being honest. Ooh. All these different little things are happening here, so that's why I'm like, it's more like Uno because everybody's out here trying to divert people from either what their true motives are or really what the cards in their hand is. And that's why I like there's so many moving things. And I draw emphasis on Miguel's because like Miguel's is the victim. He hasn't played a card yet. It's like, bro, are you going to figure something out? Like, I'm confused here. He's just sitting there just waiting back in the bleachers. The grandma's like, hey, you should do this. Be aware of this. Play this. Do that. And he's just kind of like, oh, yeah, Tommy did get that deal. You know, he was working with them. You're right. He did get that. Oh man, I don't know how he figured out this location, man. I don't know. So like it's just weird, which is why, to your point, Lucas, Miguel is 1,000% next episode going to be reactive in a way that's going to be detrimental to somebody. I don't know who, but somebody. Think is not his strong suit.
No, not at all. He the boy who tries to play double dutch with the girls, and he just at the rope bouncing. And they're like, hey, you can just jump in whenever you're ready. He's just like, all right, nah, not yet.
Right.
He never builds up that momentum to actually follow through with something. And when he does follow through, it's chaotic and the rope done fell apart, everything. And that's what's going to happen. Everything he's doing is going to be completely reactive because he's attempting to figure out what's right in front of his face. The famous quote of saying, make sure you don't see the forest before the trees. The trees are in front of you. If you look in and you see the forest, you missed the entire point of what your concern should be.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. Robbie 10-4-3-7. I would think the Serbs or Miguel, and this is for a $5 super chat here. I would think that the Serbs or Miguel will find out Tommy as family, in which case JP is expendable. JP is my death prediction. The Marcus
I love hearing this.
Yeah, it's wow. I'm telling you, the fans,
it's very
man.
interesting to hear the fans talk.
I'm telling you, the Marcus Vaughn with the $2 super chat. Abuelita? I forget how you say this. Abuelita.
You sound like Lamont. Yesterday when I was on their live and he couldn't get his name right either.
We'll get Nunez taken out. We'll get Nunez to take out Tommy. I mean, we'll try, maybe, but it's Tommy's show, so failed attempt here.
But she up to something.
She definitely is. And again, I still get this whole like, I done did my time, So I'm just going to call the plays. You just got to go out there and execute. If you don't, then I'm good. I think she's in a position where she can't be touched. I think her and the Shay conversation makes it very clear that she established a lot for the family and the cartel. She can't be touched. And matter of fact, as she is touched, there may be like supreme consequences up and down the board. So and Shay's the big Rivera guy, and Shay looked over, had her sitting at the table, which if you watch anything about Narcos or anything, knowing that's a big deal. That she's at the table at the quinceañera, that's a big deal. And said, I respect you as a woman in this drug game. Huge.
And the one thing, right, that Claudia is fighting for is the respect.
Yeah.
Yes. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I mean, y'all reaching for other things. I'm surprised no one has brought up the thing that's right in front of their face here. What happens if she turns on Miguel and says, Tommy is actually a better leader than you?
I literally was thinking that about 15 minutes ago.
All the warnings possible of what to do. But a hard head make a soft ass. I can't keep on telling you what to do and you not following through with it. When Tommy has built a coalition right in front of your face
and walked into the quinceañera.
Yeah,
there you go.
Stopped the dance with his daughter. The most iconic thing at this whole thing to talk business. Gave my man the stamp of approval. Basically said, I like money. He brings me a lot of it. All is good. I like that white boy. Everybody jaw might as well hit the ground. And they was like, wait, what? That ain't how I thought that was going.
We gonna mess around and realize that grandma already knew Mireya was messing with Tommy.
I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to pursue
this because technically you can run everything the same way I did with your grandfather.
I'm trying to tell you.
That's good.
AO Productions with the $2 super chat. Tommy says he ain't afraid of Miguel. Let's find out. That's what I'm talking about. That's some finale talk right there. Robbie Robbie 10 437. I need to figure out how you want me to say those numbers. I believe Nunez let Tommy in a party. No. We know the answer here. Tommy found out from Mireya when he said she was in town.
How did he get into the party?
Oh,
somebody got to be at the door. Somebody had to be at the door to let him in. I mean, this is. I was listening to another live last night. Shout out to Lamont, Stanley, Lynette. Am I saying the name right?
Yeah, Random Reviews, Lamont and Moochie. I watched
Moochie.
it.
And they brought this up of who let Tommy in. He's a white person who just randomly shows up at your quinceañera. Baby, you just not getting into that party.
Yeah.
Somebody was at the door and somebody had to say he's okay.
Yeah.
It was Moochie who said that she believed that he let Tommy in. And I said, that sounds like that's about right there. And then I can leave the grandma to lead that poison seed. For Miguel to react to it. And then her go to Mireya and tell her, you need to pursue this thing with Tommy. Don't think I don't know about it. Because as long as he's building this thing, if you can be his woman,
good for business.
Automatically become his second in command.
Good for business.
And you will get the respect that I've had in this business. Griselda Blanco exists for a reason.
That's right.
Don't think it's not powerful women who run things. Just because a man is in his place. Nancy Reagan was the president for 8 years. Don't think that Ronald ran anything. Nancy ran everything for 8 years. Michelle ran everything for 5.5 years. Understand. The man at times is just the figurehead. That woman right there, she's the one who's calling the shots on what will be done.
Yeah. Listen, don't be surprised if episode 10 we get a whole recap of a grandma and it's like a John Kramer montage about all the little seeds she planted the entire season. Right before Miguel died, you see all the little moments of her reminding him, whole little Saul montage. It's like, and I warned you, 11 times and got the gun to his head. You are no good to the Garcia family now. And that's just it. Wouldn't that be something?
Yes.
Exactly.
Well, it was good. My friend Eif Rivera, he did an amazing job directing this episode.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, let's get to our last question, which is our bonus question. And this is an important one here. And I call her, Nita, just so you're not confused, I call her Stacy McMahon because of the amount of drama that she brings into every situation that she's in. Do you think this full court press that Stacy McMahon is putting on is going to backfire on her? From her approaching Tommy in the streets the way she did, the point of approaching Mireya the way she did, and also attempting Mireya, and also attempting to tell her about a RICO charge when she's the sister of a drug lord, and I'm assuming a RICO charge is not that important to her. But do you think this full court pressure is going to backfire on her and lead her down a road she can't recover from?
Yes, I do. She's in too full. It's like you playing a, what do they say, a shooter on the basketball court. You can't, or a slasher. You can't play them too close because they'll get by you. And her partner kept telling her, step out. Let's step out. Step out. I know where you're going, and you're going too far. And she didn't heed his words. She's in too tight.
Yeah.
So I do think it's gonna backfire. That's just my opinion. She's so locked in. She can't focus on anything else. She can't even use reasoning at this point. She's so hell bent on getting him. And we already see what happens just from the power universe. when you don't allow some flexibility, they always get burned.
I'm gonna need Gemini Dawn to chill with truly my favorite character in Cooper Sacks. This is not even close to
Stacey's Cooper Sacks. No, she is Greg Knox. She's not Cooper Sacks. She's Greg Knox.
Yeah. And it's toxic because her partner and husband, Bobby, should be her safe space, her calm place for her to be able to reset.
Yeah.
This volcano is slowly but surely about to erupt. Matter of fact, we're just going to call it Yellowstone because this is a super volcano. And at some point, this thing's going to explode and that's going to be all done of humanity. That's just it. She has not reeled back at all. It has been a constant, I'm going to get her. You bring up an amazing point, Anita, about soliciting that information to Mireya as if that also isn't involvement with herself.
Yeah,
her whole family, as if grandma and the cartel won't just come out and just knock out that whole the feds because the cartel are fearless. Knock off that whole block, go back over the border. I mean, they'll send a squad of folks, say, listen, do what y'all do. We'll take care of your family. It is what it is. She just comes to her doors I really want Tommy. We're going to have a RICO probably. Here's my card just in case you need to call me or whatnot. She can't just be set up to come back over there and a whole mob of folks is being there. She is just beyond reckless at this point. It's comedic to a point.
It's the 27-piece and a sensible Steve Madden flats that are just driving her crazy. I don't get it. All of it's driving her crazy here. She need a heel on or something to make her think a little bit beforehand. You can't trust a woman with a 27-piece and sensible flats because that's it. That's it. She is single track, single mind, biker boy vision. I've said it since that movie came out. That's it. I don't see anything on the side. I see exactly what's in front of me, and I'm not focusing on anything else. And it leads to you making the worst moves humanly possible. When Bobby was trying to warn her, step out. I need you to step out. It's because technically, in the end, you couldn't take anything that Vic said seriously. You threatened him and then told him what to tell you. And he told you exactly what you asked. Guess what? I know the way law works. That means none of that could stand up. Because the first thing they're going to say is...
he played that chess piece.
Yes. She may have given Vic a get out of jail free card and she don't know it.
Yeah. That actually, I want you to say that with just a little more confidence here because I don't think Vic is going nowhere this season. I think she truly did give him his get out of jail for free card.
Yeah.
This is how we have Vic, the longevity of the character, coming from under the feds, little conditioning and string pulling. So that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, she had enough warning to know, like, listen, everything you're doing is not going to work. Like everything, forcing people to admit, or that's not the word I'm looking for, but yes, admit to things that they really didn't do, and this it's all of this stuff is just completely reckless. So
yeah,
at this point now, I think the more responsible question is, how do we see the arc of Stacy Marks in for this season? And like, I go to the Marcus Vaughn super chat where Stacy Marks may lose her job to Bill. I think he pronounced his last name Sung, Tusung. At the end of the point, maybe she is without a job, and maybe we see her, back at home, in the abyss, wishing that she had to listen to Bobby. Bobby's not giving her no time because he like, I done told you 10, 11 times what you should do. And maybe she becomes this person that works from the outside in, which then you can start to compare her to the Cooper Saxes of the world. Does she take another job to somehow be involved and still want to police where she can't? She's not a lawyer, so I doubt that's the way she can go. But who knows? But at this point,
she's not a cop.
No, she's a U.S. district attorney.
District attorney. So she is a lawyer.
Yeah, she's like Angela Vella.
She is the USA. Yeah, that's right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, she got avenues now.
USA. Here we go.
Hey, don't. I know y'all gonna be mad. Okay, I already know this. Power fans already know y'all gonna be mad. I can see her getting fired and then teaming up with Blanca to establish a bigger case.
Ooh.
You better watch
Blanca,
out,
honey.
Yes. Blanca has climbed through the ranks. She went from being just a New York City cop.
And got
She's
to Chicago,
some type of federal something. I don't know what Blanca do at this point, but I can see her teaming up with Blanca.
Yeah.
And then transitioning to a bigger problem for Tommy. Just because in power, just because you lose one job don't mean nothing. Not everybody can be Tamika. Tamika lost her job. She got her hair done. She got new suits. She started killing it every week.
I love y'all picked that up.
Hey, we picked it up the moment it happened. Tamika used to have just the tiniest of little ponytails. And the moment she left that office and got that good job, oh man, that hair was laid. Those suits, those suits was amazing.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens to Stacy because you clearly see the bubbling. The bubbling is happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She don't get rid
of
that.
I love the Steve Madden. I love.
Yeah. Because that's what I was.
Hilarious.
When I saw her walk, I said, "Oh, those are comfortable Steve Maddens." I know a sensible flat when I see one.
And they gave him a feature. They gave him a feature at Mireya's house. She stepped in the door.
When she put her foot in the door, I said, "It's only a Steve Madden.
The
You're not
flat.
doing that in nothing else. Only a Steve Madden flat where you put your foot in the door to stop somebody from closing that door on your foot."
Yeah, y'all are.
That's good. That's good.
But I'm done with our questions for the week, Najia. Is there anything else you all would like about this episode to close out?
Yeah, chat. Y'all got 5 to 10 minutes. I'm turning it over to Anita. We need to know. First of all, I just again want to give a shout out to the folks behind this episode. Again, directed by Eif Rivera, written by Melody Cooper. This was a really pivotal, important, very power-ish episode that just I can't emphasize enough. If it ain't chess, it's the biggest game of Uno we've ever seen in Power, where there's literally so much unpredictability. Again, everybody's down to 3 cards. There's a couple of draw 4s in hands. There's a couple of folks with all green. There's some folks that just don't know what they're gonna do. There's just a lot that is happening here. But it's a dope episode, and I don't know. Lucas, I don't know. Do you know? Are we back next week, or is this the weird?
This is normally the break week. So we'll see if they're going to take the break this week or if they're going to try to run this straight through.
Yeah, because I was talking to Anita off the record, and it doesn't look like it's no way it's going to line up to Kanan. It's not going to happen.
No,
so
it's too big of a gap.
Yeah, it's too big of a gap, which is usually, this is the hit or this is the miss, just shall I say, with Stars by not aligning it how they usually do with the finale and the premiere. So at this point now, why even have the break? Just go ahead and just run it through.
Run it straight through. There you go.
I don't know. I guess Outlander's still running or something right now. Oh, Shining Veil is on right now, so they got that. That should at least give them programming to Power for Kanan. But yeah,
I'm just mad that you landed on Outlander. Look,
I mean, I know what's going
on. I don't think those audiences mingle well together.
I know Stars line up.
I like Outlander. Okay, I like Outlander. Don't get me wrong. I'm
just saying without
the same type of audience.
Yeah, I'm just saying like they don't want to have like a hole in programming for like 3 or 4 weeks for no reason. That just doesn't make any sense.
They want you to anticipate that Kanan is coming back, so they could build it up. The trailer for Kanan drops. I want to say is tomorrow.
Yeah.
So they we need to build this up so you understand what you about to get.
That's where the strike hurts because they can't really build it up. They can't build it up the way they need to build. So, but anyway, I'm done talking.
But we love all of you guys, right? That come behind it and just talk about these shows, especially since the actors aren't able to talk about the show and really like give you the insight, which is actually a lot of fun for me listening and watching you guys because it's so interesting to hear your takes on all these different episodes, the story, where the characters are going. So, it's a lot of fun. And it's I feel like a new way of promoting actually that, just kind of out of a situation, something has been discovered. So bravo to you guys, all of you,
appreciate you.
Power Universe content creators.
Appreciate you. And I want to speak for the community. We definitely appreciate everything that you all have done. I mean, you all have presented us 10 years, very close to 10 years worth of amazing entertainment. Really helped booster a lot of our channels, but just really the catalyst to the community in terms of just the visibility of the production crews, the actors, and just the show itself is just always buzzworthy, whether it's the discussions about the episodes, what's happening, or just pivotal viral moments within it. We owe you all eternally for everything that you've done. So like, again, it's by all means a true honor to have you on there. I mean, and folks, I just want to make it very clear, as I said in the beginning, there are a lot of folks attached to the Power Universe. We love them, but Anita's the day one. And I mean, like, you're talking about stories about things. Again, you gotta get behind a paywall or hit her up on her channel. You're not getting to hear, especially not here for free.
Right.
Talking about how Power was formed, who was originally going to play Ghost, who was originally going to who auditioned, who, all those sorts of different things. She has those stories, and again, from the 6 seasons of Power to 3 seasons of Ghost to now 2 seasons of Kanan and 2 seasons of Force and a season of Influence that should be here, but I don't know who I can yell at for that, but it's okay. We'll get the tape spinoff someday. I hope.
I hope so.
Baby.
I mean, wouldn't it be so great right now with the way Washington is operating right now? I mean, storylines that would be happening, incredible. Yeah. But hopefully they'll get to that.
What's great? I saw a Kerry Washington chat, a message in the chat. And apparently they're about to bring that back. So like, if that ain't the biggest indication that like there's absolutely a void for those type of shows, I don't know what else.
If you don't snatch Kerry Washington up and bring her to the Power Universe,
honey.
Oh boy.
Come on now. We got too many avenues. Look, Jada done dropped her book. She need a job now. Y'all better get her in the Power Universe. What's wrong with y'all? I told you I was gonna find a way to bring
the magic, but the magic about the magic in the universe is that we grab these actors that people aren't quite aware of and give them a platform to shine as thespians. So, those two might be a little bit big for our space. We like to bring in and lift up people y'all don't know yet, which is the magic of the Power universe for real.
Yeah, I mean, Kerry Washington would be dope, and obviously
she would be dope.
Bringing Damson in because looks like he's not gonna have some TV work for a little time. That would be another very
look, again. It's always good to meet the talent that people don't know about.
To meet new, exactly. And that was started by Courtney Kemp, and that's okay. That was Courtney Kemp and early producers of Power that kind of set that tone. So it has carried on because even people don't know who Patina Miller is until Rock showed up on the scene. And I mean, this is a Tony-winning actress. Listen. I mean, and all of a sudden you're like, who is this? That is, the universe. That's how we move. Yeah.
Facts.
I was excited when Patina Miller came on because of the show she had on ABC.
Yeah.
Where she played
Madam Secretary.
Yeah. Madam Secretary, which I'm an old man. For people that don't know out there, I'm not old, but I'm old when it comes to my TV watching. So I was watching CBS every Sunday when Madam Secretary would come on, and to watch her on there, then I'm like, wait a minute, is she playing a drug dealer now? Wait a minute, that's the woman from Into the Woods. Like I'm thinking of everything else that she's done, and then I'm like, oh my god, like that is.
And then you realize the actress that she is, right?
Yeah.
Because when you talk to Patina Miller, she is not Raquel.
Yeah,
that is I mean, that's when you applaud.
Yes,
I think in some of the red carpet spaces and after party spaces, I think she might have been the one that I might have truly been starstruck around because that transformation, she's so cool. Let's just
cool.
make it very clear.
Yes.
Also, London Brown too. Oh, so
definitely.
Cool. Yes.
Yeah. And he's killing it too.
People. Yeah. But yeah, just knowing how amazing they are on screen, and then how chill they are in person. You just like, man, I can't help but to just be thankful for this moment, but just for everything y'all do, man. Y'all are truly elite.
Well, and and thank you so much for just all the compliments, because from that one show called Power that we didn't know what was going to happen. After season 1, we were like, we don't know. Are people going to receive this? We had no idea. And from that one show, 4 shows have emerged from that one. And how many actors have you been introduced to in these characters that, we don't know? You might have not ever met these actors. We have to applaud the longevity of the universe. And, who knows how many more spinoffs will come, if they will come, but it for sure is an iconic moment in television, what was created here, because, we have, just brought a whole new version of storytelling to the space.
Yes. Absolutely.
Of amazing urban leading storytelling that created a universe that's only comparable to Dick Wolf.
That's
the only comparable. Only comparable to Dick Wolf's universe. That's it. No one else's universe is comparable, because you don't see this on television. You don't see this world building on television.
Diverse cast
is why Power sticks out.
Exactly. Diversity in the actors. I mean, tonight, episode 8, you saw all this speaking in Spanish, all of these things that are happening. This is real life. If you live in DC, New York, Chicago, these are interactions you see all the time, just in your everyday life. You'll see somebody in the store, you'll be talking English to them. They see their friend, they switch the language up. This is everyday occurrences. for so many of us. And here we are presenting it on a platform for a lot of people who don't really know that, but they've fallen in love with this world of storytelling. So it's great. And I'm happy to be a part of it.
Yes,
We
you are. Trust
thankful
me.
for you.
We are happy of you being a part of it.
Yes, thank you.
I'm going to read 2 more super chats, and I want to make sure we give an opportunity to talk about the podcast really quick. So DeMarcus Vaughn with do you all like Jenny Sue? And the other $2 super chat is, do y'all like Jenny Sue as Tommy's attorney? We're not getting much of Jenny right now, but I think it is important to know that Tommy does have legal representation. So if in the fact that he needs it, this character has already been introduced for something to come, possibly in the future. So small introduction, very intentional introduction. Now I think 2 appearances this season. So it's hard to say if I like or dislike. I mean, it's nothing personal with the person. So
she's just there.
She's just there. She's just there. And let's not forget, y'all didn't like just Proctor until Proctor was given time.
I'm about to say, just give it time, because she's giving Tommy valuable information every time she's on screen. You got to pay attention to that. That's clearly someone he completely trusts, and she has connections, which again would make sense for influence, because I swear she would fit in that show perfectly. But again, I digress. But yes, so far I do like the character because I like slow building of characters. Everybody doesn't have to come in like a missile.
Amen. That's power
build them
writing
slowly. Yes.
And that's what you love about this season. You feel that this season.
Yes. So just give it time. By season 3, you'll realize just how important this character is and the way they build this character up.
Yep.
All right, Anita, let's talk about the Gloss podcast. The floor is yours. We absolutely want to know about the podcast, where we could find you, and anything else you may be able to share coming down the pipeline.
Okay, so the Gloss podcast, and my phone is going on low battery, so hopefully I don't get caught off.
Let's do it.
But the Gloss podcast, the Gloss podcast is, the niche of it is the stars behind the stars. And so it is people like me. It's me talking to people like you guys. I'm going to have you guys on the show. It's the makeup, the hair, like Monday's episode. Tuesday, we drop episode 3 of the podcast, which is Brian Badi. And Brian is a day one power hair designer. And he is now one of the producers as well. And we all went out for the 3 spinoffs to establish the thread of the Courtney Kemp 50 Cent mark of style. And, you know, where there needs to be makeup, there's makeup. Where there doesn't, where there needs to be good hair, bad hair, like, you know, just kind of keeping the thread through the through the different spinoffs. But it's talking to people like that, talking to production designers. I'm going to be going really wide because my son plays professional basketball. So I'll be talking to those stars in sports, where you have all the trainers and the AAU directors, the people that build these young men up to be NBA players, those stars that people never meet, never see. So it's talking to the people that'll never make it to Jimmy Fallon's couch, but are stars in their own right.
There you go.
And so that's what the podcast is about. So we are in our 3rd episode. So everybody go to YouTube and look for the Gloss podcast. We have episode 1 and 2 up. 3 drops on Tuesday. And then, you know, just an amazing season 3 of Raising Kanan. And when I tell you, there is drama coming. I mean, sit down, get whatever you like to eat, have your Raising Kanan parties. I mean, I've started having power parties again, because now that you see these spinoffs, when you go back to watch Power, you start hearing things that are playing out on these spinoffs that you're watching now. So it's even fun to rewatch Power. But, you know, get ready for Raising Kanan, because it is how great. I'm so happy for Forrest, how great this season is. especially because the actors weren't allowed to go out and talk about it and get people excited about it. So I'm happy that, you know, people are moving with the show. Raising Kanan is going to be equally as suspenseful, and all kinds of stuff is going down.
Yes.
So
yes,
get excited for it because it's going to be great. And I am on Instagram, Anita Gibson Films. The Gloss Podcast is also on Instagram. I'm really not like a crazy social media person, but
like
IG
me,
is where
fine.
I live. I live on IG. So, yeah, but I'm excited. I'm happy. You know, this strike has presented. I was always going to do this podcast, becoming a producer. I wanted to do some of these things in my own place that didn't have connection
Yes.
to.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
And there it goes.
hey,
And
she said it. But I'll say this about the Gloss podcast because I actually listened to episode 1 earlier today with, I want to say his name right, Merrill Hollis. And he is a makeup designer, and his story is amazing. Short listen, it's like an hour and 15 minutes, breezes by. Like once you listen to that podcast and you listen to the way things are broken down, it is a great podcast to listen to. And the point that they already just going on episode 3 is, I think it's possibly about weekly drops that they're doing. Definitely something to check out because I enjoyed it, and I don't listen to a lot of podcasts because boy, everybody shouldn't have a mic. But when you get people like Anita and Merle and her guest, I think his name was Daryl on there also, who's also doing it with Anita. When you get those and you get those voices in there, you get an amazing podcast because it's informative. And then you get the history of what they've done in this industry, which is even more important to hear because it's always good to support Black folks doing the things that they need to do in this industry to push through because we don't get that enough.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Everything is in the description below. Her Instagram, the Gloss Podcast Instagram handles there, and also the YouTube channel. So you all do us a favor right now. If you've been here this entire time, make sure you have already liked and subscribed this channel, Big Bell Media. The like button is essential here. But also go over to her Instagram. Be sure to subscribe. Let her know on her last picture. Let her know that you heard her here tonight on this recap.
And I can't wait now that she said I could be on the Gloss Pocket. Look at
Yeah. We got a trip. Listen, we got a trip to the studio. I wasn't gonna tell you yet. I was gonna wait for her to announce it, but yeah, we've been invited, so we're gonna make a trip to the studio. We're gonna be behind a real production, so I'm excited for that.
Oh shit!
They're gonna take care of us. They already told us they're gonna take care of us. So yeah, definitely. That's why, like, if y'all fans of us here, y'all be sure and subscribe to the channel because we're gonna be there soon. But
and again, check out all the other people who we had on the show so far. Again, I absolutely love that Lamont put on that show on Saturday night that completely blew my mind. I get a notification of it. I sat there, I super chatted them up. Let me tell you. to the point where Lamont said on one of my courses, said, Lucas, you need to start a YouTube channel immediately. I wanted to say, nigga, I got one. But it was an amazing show that they put on. I can't wait we got to get something with Moochie again because I missed that episode when she was on here, and I'm definitely trying to talk to her again. Like it's just amazing to see so many of us power content creators and just content creators in general work together. Dog, this is the goal. We gonna build the Avengers out here one way or the other. Okay, we gonna take over one way or the other. That's the best way to put it.
I was gonna let you like end on this positive note, which obviously I respect, but I gotta make 2 comments. One, for everybody that keeps saying that you need to make a YouTube channel, make it very clear that you are home here. I don't know why people be thinking like you're like some guest.
Let me help y'all out here. Let me help y'all out here, okay? Okay, I don't know who told y'all otherwise, okay?
I just the technical person.
Belt Media. Okay. Big Gold Belt Media creative director
Yeah, I was gonna
Lucas.
say, let me
Okay?
read all your titles real quick. It's like 10 of them joints. Real
like it ain't no situation
Get
where I'm just
confused.
on here to be on
Yeah,
here, okay?
yeah, just a
Yes,
bunch.
we are both talent, but we are both behind the scenes. A lot of
Yeah,
what you get from other aspects of other shows, you can catch us on here doing. So don't ever make the mistake of thinking just because I do other things. And yes, I am on another outlet that you may see on YouTube. Same position. That does
you're like,
not negate anything. We all work together
they
here.
just don't like you there
Okay.
for whatever reason.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know
they
what it
hate me on the
is.
other outlet. That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. They're
Yeah.
nerds. They can't help it. But it's perfectly fine here. But damn it, I'm just not somebody who come up here like I'm not like a partner per week type of thing here.
Yeah, I don't get it. I just ignore half of them. But listen, we got 2 more weeks. We know the finale. I'm letting y'all know right
Mhm.
now because we've been trying to set up these collaborations. We've reached out to folks. We done
Man,
had
that
an
finale gonna be crazy.
all-star cast this entire season.
Mm-mm-mm.
And we just brought Anita in on episode 8. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, because y'all hear from my mouth, so that y'all hear it, all everybody who's in here right now. I invited and I reached out to Mark Dark. He ain't respond to our email. So y'all go over to his channel and say, what you gonna do, brother? What you gonna
You know,
do when Big Gold Belt Media comes for
hey man,
you?
Mark don't do on camera, which is cool. I fully grasp. I done seen so many power creators that don't do on camera, so I fully
Yeah.
understand that. So it's cool. It's
Also,
one
we
it's
had our
one
boys
couple that I won't. It's
Power is
one couple
Fire.
that I won't.
They
I just ain't
Power is
got them
Fire
yet.
came
It's
through.
one couple I won't.
We had Sam come through
Oh,
Power is
Sam.
Fire. So
Yeah.
yeah. So like ain't no excuse, man. You can
Sam was cool also.
yeah.
Please follow everything
That's the
Sam
homie.
does.
He'll be back. He'll be back.
His channel is absolutely crazy, Joe. Like again, like it's so many amazing content creators out there that everyone should be supporting. And
Yeah.
a lot of them are fire. Don't pay attention to subscriber count, don't pay attention to views, pay attention to the content that they put out. You'll be surprised just how great some of this content is out there for you
Yeah.
all to tune into. And again, make sure you check out Anita, the Gloss Podcast. It's really, really good.
I
I don't say that about podcasts because I don't do a lot of people's podcasts.
yeah.
That was amazing when I
It's a
heard that
lot of knowledge.
episode.
It's
I'm like, oh my
lot of knowledge in
God,
one
this is
room.
good.
So yeah, I'm definitely
Yes.
going to be on my A game for there. Also, Sierra, I've also reached out to Ashley Miller, have not heard anything back. So I try to be a little candid here, but I'm just letting y'all know so y'all don't think like I'm like
And
personally
everybody
skipping
busy. We ain't
anybody.
gonna
I
say
reached out
like,
to Ashley, reached out
yeah.
to Mark,
Folks
had
is
not
busy
heard
out this
anything
show.
back. I reached out to some other folks, but they're not covering Power this season. So, I
Yeah.
respect that. But yeah, I reached out to Ashley, I reached out to Mark, no response. I reached out to other folks who said they're not covering the season, and I've also got responses for some folks that said that they are not on camera. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah. Listen,
which is dope.
man,
Which
let
is
me throw
dope.
that
If
up
you're not
there
on
real quick.
camera, I fully understand.
Yeah, thank you, thank you,
Hey,
Makiba,
look here.
thank you.
Look here.
We'll
The,
take
the
that.
only time we have met the Cruise has it was at Powerbook Ghosts
The
after
last,
party.
yeah.
Jesus. It was a lot of Castle Azul going around, a lot of drinks, and we were not
Yeah,
talking about the show.
yeah. But yeah, let them know, man. We'll listen. We'll love to have them on too. But they probably want to rate. Anyway, let's get out of here. Listen, folks. Episode 9 drops.
Yes.
Maybe next week, maybe not. We don't know. But when it does drop, get on the channel 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That recap review show will be
Yes.
available. Then on Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, our live show with a special guest who is to be determined right now. So you all have the luxury to letting us know who you all want to see on the show. Our email is on our channel. If there's any of your favorites out there that y'all want, tell them to come hit us up, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on X, whether it's on email. Let us know. We're ready to go. I see y'all saying it's dropping the 3rd. That means that gives y'all 2 weeks to figure out who you all want
So it
to
is the
be on
gap.
it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I
Yeah.
was not sure. I didn't look it up. Again, we're very candid about how we view episodes here. Like, I've not known.
I'm not hip who
date.
Bondi Blue is. I gotta look up who Bondi Blue is. This is an interesting.
I just need to know who is the couple, the Caucasian couple that review Power. That's the only ones I wanted to talk
they're
to.
Not reviewing Power.
They're not covering Power this year. That's the ones who I wanted to talk to. I find their content amazing. They are hilarious.
They're not reviewing Power this season.
Man,
I follow
that's what I wanted.
HFG saying I follow Ashley Miller. She hasn't agreed to anyone's collab. I respect everybody's decision, but I would love. Been a fan of her work for a while, so I would love to be able to have them on the show. And again, as Anita said, like, we're building unity here in a time where there's a strike. We go to red carpets, we get those interviews, and we're still looking to be a part of the promotion of the show and bringing everybody
bigger
together.
Outlets that just aren't, that we know, that we're close with, that have said like they would love to do it, but they're just not covering Power this year.
SGTV. I'm not hip. So yeah, listen. I don't, did I reach out to Mo.J? I can't remember. Either way, listen, we're gonna get off this. Y'all hit me in the DMs on Instagram at Big O Belt. We're gonna work something out. Because there's only one more week before the finale. We plan on trying to have as many people as possible available for the finale. We'll see how that works out. But please let us know who you all want to have on the show. We want to collab with folks. We don't care about a follower count. We don't care about how long somebody's been doing it. We just looking to create more visibility within the content creator world of Power Universe, man. That's all that matters. So we definitely appreciate you all. Yeah, I'm not going to read any more comments. I'm just going to just end the show. That's it. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Hit me on the IG post. Thank y'all
again.
for tuning in.